from eBay from Detroit Axle for $39. I got my tools ready. Here's the jack, hydraulic jack. This is the jack stands. Here's the tools I'm going to be using. There's the lug wrench. And the most important tool of all, stay hydrated. There is the water. Now, when I jack this car up, I always put safety under there in case the jack falls, because then it will just fall onto the jack stands, because you don't want to risk your life. Just be safe. Well, with that in mind, it's a little wet out here. The rain has finally stopped. I'm going to get started on this job. And after all four is changed, this thing should run like smooth as butter. Okay, the first step, you get the lug wrench before I jack up the car. Looks like these have these little plastic protectors over the lug nuts. I'll go ahead and take those off. They just pull right off there. Oh, and another good tip when you're working on your vehicle, your car, truck, whatever, you might want to make sure, this is common sense, but make sure that you're wearing something that is like your old dress clothes, or your old clothes, so you don't want to ruin anything new or nice. Plus your wife won't yell at you. There we go. We're breaking these lug nuts loose. Now these are going to be different than the front. Not too bad. Somebody put them on with an impact gun, but I'm still pretty strong for an old guy, so it's no problem. Okay, all these seem to be loose. So now is the time that I jack up the car. Okay, I'm putting the jack under the car. You want to make sure you put it on a solid piece of the subframe. Okay. I'm going to see if there's a place over here to the side. Oh yeah. Found a good spot right here. Time to jack the car up. As you'll see in the video, the body of the car should start to rise off the ground. See it coming right up there? It's about 3 inches off the ground. Okay, now let me get the jack stands, and this is an important part. Okay, I'm putting the jack stands underneath the car. That way, if it falls, it will not fall on me. Now that the jack stands are underneath there, and this is safe, I can continue to take the lug nuts off. I just kind of give it a little turn like that until it all comes off. There's another. And remember to buy your parts online, whether you like Rock Auto, Detroit Axle, eBay, Amazon, because it'll save you a lot of money in the long run. Like, I priced just one side wheel bearing, and they were like $100 a piece. So I've got 39 into it, and that's saving from $100. It's saving $60. Look, here comes the tire. It's going to come off. I'll just lay it over here, out of the way, to the right, and then we'll see what we have here. Of course, this is your rotor. This is your brake caliper, or the retention bracket, the caliper. The brake shoes are underneath there. Let's see what we have. See what we have going on. All right. Now, to take the brake caliper off, you're going to need a 15mm bolt. Again, this is if I haven't told you yet, this is a Pontiac Grand Prix 2004. This is the non-supercharged version. Remember, so you're going to need a 15mm socket to take the brake caliper off. And remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. That's the thing to remember when it comes to tightening bolts and things. There are rare exceptions in plumbing, but most of the time. If this is stuck, you either get a pry bar or a big flathead screwdriver. Be right back with the flathead screwdriver. Okay, I'm back. Now, put this flathead screwdriver here at the top of the caliper, and just pry back and then that'll come right off. Now you want to kind of secure this caliper out of the way, so that way when you're working, you're not going to bust a brake line hose. I'm going to put this onto the struts, get it out of the way. There, it's out of the way. Now be careful and not to unhook your emergency e-brake, because this will have a cable hooked to it. Now while you're back here, there's going to be a connection to the back of this the wheel bearing in the back, the hub assembly. There's going to be a connection for the anti-lock brake system. You want to be as careful as you can on plugging that. Get the brake pads out. I'm going to use again a flathead screwdriver to move them along. And you might want to check the brake pads while you have this off. It's got a little bit left, kind of old, a little rusty, but it's got a few more miles left on them. Then you get the other brake pad, the rear brake pad. You kind of want to feel the brake pad also to see if they've been, if it's even, if it's been worn out even or not. That way you can see if your rotors need turned, see if they're warped. The next step is to get the retention bracket off. Looks like it takes a smaller ratchet. Okay, so the next size for the retention bracket is 1/2 inch. And when you lay these screws down, make sure you put them in a spot that you're not going to forget. Well, bolts, I meant. And once the retention bracket comes off, I'm going to be able to take the rotor off, and then we'll be right there at the wheel bearing and the hub. Here is the retention bracket, right there. That's what holds the caliper in place. Now let me see if this rotor is going to come off. Easy, easy peasy. Lay this underneath here. Oh gosh, I can see these bolts back here. See, this is going to be totally different than what we did last time. We're going to turn this. This has a hole here on the hub that you turn around to access these bolts. See, on the front, actually has two of them. On the front, we had to come in from behind, and it was just much harder. This right here is the dust shield. Well, I'm going to put a little bit of this on here to show the camera. Some PB Blaster. This you can pick up at any automotive store. It's really good to break up the rust and get these bolts loosened up. And I've heard different people say to leave it on there at different amounts of time, but I'm going to let it set for 20 minutes. Obviously, I'm not going to keep rolling the camera that long, but that's what I'm going to be doing. So, until then, I'm going to have a drink of some water. Okay, I've got a cameraman now. My son's back from school. If he can pan here to this wheel hub here, right here, this big circle, you turn it to whatever bolt you want to get off, and I'm going to turn it to, now remember, this is a 10 millimeter. You'll want to use an extension, and there's going to be 4 of these bolts that you get out. When it gets far enough loose, I go ahead and take off the ratchet and just do it by fingers. Here's what these bolts look like. These guys right here, it's 10 millimeter, 4 of them. And remember, then you just kind of take this notch over here and access the other screws, or bolts I meant. And thing is, it's a lot easier than the front. Looks pretty good under here. And remember, PB Blaster is what loosen these up. You'll want to get some. Okay, I'm working on the 4th bolt here. Got those 4 bolts there. Now inside of here, I don't know if he can get a kind of picture of this or not, but there is a plug. Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna have to get it. Ooh man, I just got all freaking wet, like my clothes and stuff. But that happens sometimes. You unplug, there's 2 little tabs, like right here, and there's one above it. And see, right there's that connector. You see me kind of, my thumbs are, my finger. That unplugs from the hub. And then you pull yourself out of there. And then you take right here. You got this, you see this? Right here, goes up like this. Look, you got to catch me doing this. From the power of the Asgardians, it's Thor and his mighty hammer. Loki, we're gonna get this hub off. You hit it on each corner. Don't damage the dust shield. This right here, the hub and the old wheel bearing, doesn't matter too much. It's coming off anyway. I hope you got that on film or on camera. Now, what happened was, you can see how this is a little rusty. I mean, a lot rusty. I can feel this grinding a lot. Like right here when I turn it. Look, they see me rolling. They're hating. Trying to catch me riding dirty. Anyways, yeah, this is bad. This is where that plug was for the anti-lock brake system. So we got that off there, the dust shield's off. What I'm gonna do is take a little brush. I see a lot of people never cleaning inside here. You could take a Dremel tool if you have one, but I'm a poor person, so I have to use what I have. And what I have is a little brush. Be right back, I'll get it. And what you want to do is you want to make this as smooth as you can. Kind of clean it out. That way when the new bearing fits in there, it's going to be nice and flush. You know, it's just going to fit in there better. It's not going to be off balance as much. And it's not going to wear out as quick. You see all that coming out? It's supposed to be just one little circle around through here. Now a Dremel tool would take about all of maybe 1 minute. Like I said, I don't have that. There, that is pretty good. Now I'll do this on the other side when I go to put the other one in. Doesn't have to be perfect because, you know, probably gonna go get in some mud after this. Now this is the other one that came from Detroit Axle. Kind of take it out of its packaging. And then you take it out of this paper plastic bag. And now you might not be able to tell the difference in the age between this one and that one, you know, because they're both kind of, see what I mean? One is wore out. Time to retire for this guy. Anyways, put this here. This is where the cutout was for the I can kind of adjust this. That's what I'm doing now. There. Oh my goodness. Kind of got to line up the holes with the oh yeah, there. Oh man, baby, that is good. This is gonna be great work. Okay, now let me see what I did with that ratchet. Okay, I'm trying to get it started in there. It's not really, yeah, there it is, it's going. If I get this one bolt started, I can find the ratchet that I had. Getting the first one started. Remember, this is a 10mm socket with an extension. They say 60 foot-pound torque. I don't have a torque wrench, so I'm gonna guess it the best I can. I've done this plenty of times. If I'd done this for a living, trust me, I would have all the recommended tools, because it's just a lot easier. The job isn't hard. Getting the right tools is the hard part. Now you'll know if the dust shield is on right, because this cutout is supposed to reveal the back part of the hub where the retention bracket bolts on. If you can see that, then you know that you've got the dust shield on good. Again, I'm not tightening this down all the way. I'm getting these screws started, being kind of flush, and then I'm going to tighten them down like the power of the Hulk. I'm going to tighten them sons of guns. You can see that moving right on there. This is when you're going down the interstate. This is what's holding your big part of what's holding your wheels on there, brother. So you got to make sure this is smooth as butter. All in a good day's work. I mean, look, not only can I save you 15% on car insurance, I can save you 100% on mechanic work. How does that sound? How about you? How about you? You know what I'm saying, Scooter Bob? Give me an hour. Huh? Now, Scooter Bob, I can get this thing fixed about an hour. In about an hour, I say, Mr. John Wayne, because I'm going to use this. You see this right here? That's so big, you could put a headband on that instead of an armband. I'm going to use that power right there, and I'm going to tighten this baby down. You know what I'm saying, Scooter Bob? Yeah! That's what I'm talking about, Scooter Bub. I know I can guarantee you it ain't gonna come off, go down the road and pass me up. I can guarantee you that, Scooter Bub. For all you people who don't know what Scooter Bub means, it's just an inside joke. Whew. Alright, you can go ahead and now the next step you want to do, take a drink, nice big swig, this water here. As a famous guy once says, stay thirsty, my friends. Well, I'd like to consider you all my friends, but you sure don't have to stay thirsty. Drink. That was stupid. Don't try that at home. Felt good though. Anyways, the next step is the C-clamp. With the C-clamp, we're going to take the caliper. And I usually use a brake shoe that the caliper has been up against. You can kind of see it by the indentation where it's kind of round. See that? Well, you put it up against this piston, and I can't move it any other way because, well, I just can't, because it's held on with the emergency brake. And then you take this C-clamp and you put it up against, okay, then after you're assembling all that back together, you get your lug wrench. And you want to put this on at an angle when you get this started up here. You're not going to put it on tight, you're just going to get it flush. You know, like a hand tighten is what they call it. And then when you let it down off the jack, that's when you tighten it, you know, as tight as you can. Now I'm going diagonal because I want it to go on flush and not unbalanced. And like I said, this back wasn't as bad as the front, not nearly. Cameraman, watch your feet. Okay. See, that's flush until the tire spins a little bit. Now what we're looking for is one more lug. It's right here. It's nice and muddy. Now, I have to let the car down, but do not, and I repeat, do not. You gotta get over here, I'm telling you. This is the most important step. What you do is, you take the box that the new part came in, you take the plastic. Now you gotta handle this gingerly, easy. You put the plastic back over it, you cover it over like this, crunch it a few times. Now, as you can see down in there, they have a little bit of packaging. They have this thing.
Kind of broke it.
Okay, and what you do, put it down in there real easy. And then it has two styrofoam cushions. Put it in just like that.
Take it back one.
And then you put it in just like that. And then it's ready to send back. They sent the wrong one. No, I'm joking. I will dispose of that. All junk. But anyways, this is exactly the way we're going to do the other side. I'm running out of battery, so this is exactly how you do it. Adios. Don't forget to subscribe if you like the stuff you're watching on the channel. There's going to be more magnet fishing, geocaching. We might even get in the Zord ball and go across the Ohio River. You never know what we're going to do. Anyways, hit the subscribe and then click on the bell so you'll know when we come out with new videos. See you later.